Hey, there is a plus side to all this subtitle stuff. I'm learning sign language pretty much. Dylan, did you know that the sign for beating off is this?
Yeah.
It's this.
That's crazy. Rubes, did you know that?
No, but Pat, that's really good. It's like you're fluent.
There's a lot of stuff on TV, but not all of it's good. In fact, a lot of it's bad TV.
Hi, hello, it's Bad TV. It's short for bad television, and I'm here with Patrick.
Great to be here.
And I'm Dylan, and then my sister, baby, papaya dog girl. I did not say it right. But that's okay. She's calling in from the Big Apple, the concrete jumble. She's got an Empire state of mind. It's Ruby Wren.
Hey guys, happy to be here.
Hey, what's your TikTok handle?
Papaya dog girl.
God, I hope I get better at talking. Just 30 seconds into the show,
Yeah, I know, but we only do 8 shows a week, Del,
Producer Kaylin is over there behind my glasses.
Hello.
Okay, so, guys, do we have an episode of 90 Day Fiancé or do we have an episode of 90 Day Fiancé?
Yeah.
Holy smoke. Now, I could do with a little tirade every episode, just a little bit.
Okay.
But, and I missed Gollum and Preacher Girl, but overall, I thought it was a fantastic episode. Before we get into it, public service announcements. Me, Patrick, Ruby are breaking down Vanderpump Rules at patreon.com/another podcast network.
Season 1.
That is the only place you can see and listen, hear. I really got to get it together.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's just the English language is really, really evading me right now. So go there, follow us on all the socials, Bad TV or Bad TV Podcast.
Dill, we don't often mention, but you also get 2 more shows over there at Patreon. You get My PMZ, where Dill just lets me do what the hell I want. And we have fun.
Talked a lot of Star Child on the last one.
Yeah, we did. And also Black Mirror. And we talk about nothing over there, but it's really, really fascinating and interesting. And we also do a show called Another Podcast Show, where Dill and I just gab about whatever's top
Hot
of mind
mustard
for about an hour.
Doritos, tangy ketchup.
We had a therapy
Doritos.
session the last episode.
Yep. Talked about introspection and falling inward and examining life. Also, fun thing about PMZ. When did Black Mirror come out, Kaylin? 2006?
2016.
No.
Before that. Had to be before.
Regardless, Pat has just found out how great it is. So Pat is going through a little bit of a renaissance.
What a windfall for me, Dylan. You mock me.
No. I know. I think it's great.
I often tell Kalen, because Kalen and we see each other a lot more, and he'll tell me, I'll go, oh, how's that show? And he goes, well, I just watched the whole season this week. And I'm like, where the fuck do you find time to do that?
Yeah.
And I figured this is what's going to be wonderful about when old Patty gets old and retires.
We'll get into the show
I'm
in a
literally
second.
going to have 5 million hours of television to catch up with.
Right. And you
It's gonna
will
be a good
opt to
retirement.
not watch it, and you will watch Married with a Gun License or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, that is what he will be watching.
yeah, it's
Also,
like-
it was 2011.
TLC's Shotgun Wedding, literally, will be the show that Patrick is watching. So let's get into our passports. Rubes, why don't you take it away? What'd you think of the episode?
I love these episodes because I feel like they sprinkle in the fun people and they sift out the bad people. I too missed Gollum. I missed Tyree a little bit. I missed his sister more.
Yeah.
But I thought that we got fun Cleo. I thought that Statler was beyond my comprehension.
Right.
I give it like 91 passports. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love bugs. They're a lot like me.
She's a
Ignore
weirdo,
it.
that one. Can I go next?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Speaking, I'm going to call her Stats.
No, why don't we go with Kaylin next?
All right,
Kaylin, what did you
did
think
you
of
watch
the
it?
episode?
I didn't watch it.
All right, you go.
Stats was made in a lab for reality TV. She's a complete weirdo. The camera loves her. She's a very attractive young
God,
lady.
do you have an affinity for nicknaming? My God.
Stats.
It's right there, but I didn't think of it.
Me neither.
I am
really good.
invested in
it's
this cast.
fantastic.
I'm not invested in Tyree, so I disagree with Ruby. He is one of the people that we need to weed out. His storyline is sad. It depresses me every time
What are you
he's on the
drinking? Are you
screen.
drinking lemonade?
It's lemon juice and water. Throat. It's tickles.
Help her talk better, Dylan.
Okay.
By the way,
There's a lot of lemon in that
a
water.
little baddie pointed out with a screenshot of Sheila. You know Sheila and David there? You know, lots of subtitles.
Yeah.
I think she's pregnant. I did watch her in her OTFs,
No.
and she's got a little belly.
No.
Yeah, I know, Ruby. It's hard to hear. Oh God.
No, it's not hard to hear for Ruby.
It's tough.
To hear.
It's weird news,
Yeah.
but I think she's pregnant with David's baby, which is good for them, you know? Anyway, I'm invested in this cast, 100 passports.
It's too high. And you know that's too high. It was so exciting and just delicious to see Violet keep the pimp hand strong tonight.
Great!
My God, is she she is a real goddamn warrior.
Dylan, can I say something part of a con woman?
Yeah.
Using the children almost like a fishing lure for a very, very sad, lonely man.
Yeah.
It's a con woman device.
What's the Patrick Radden Keefe book about the sex trafficker or the human trafficker? What's her name?
Oh, fuck. Snakehead.
The snakehead, yes. Violet is the snakehead, you know?
Oh, yes, she would run the most successful human smuggling operation the East Coast had ever seen.
So she has the perfect temperament. Like I think that she doesn't really value human life. And I think that she's also a fairly competent and brutish woman. So I think that she could run an international ring of human smuggling, which, hey, the jury's still out. She could be doing that.
Yeah.
You know? Stats, wonderful addition. I am a little concerned that she may be too normal for the show.
Too normal.
What?
Yeah.
Did you hear her like history? Like she's all over the place. She's a sex addict. She's she's out there, man.
I know.
I'm not slut shaming. I'm just saying, you know.
No, I know, but Tyree is in love with a man who's robbing him. So I guess it's all relative, but she's great.
It's worth pointing out that we did not meet her girlfriend. She did not do a talking head. So the jury's still out of whether or not when she flies to England, we actually meet this girl.
Yeah, well, that remains to be seen. But 78 pots, we begin with our favorites, our babies. Jasmine and her hatted angel, Gino. Now, Gino is left at the house to see, it's still bad. It's still bad. Gino's left at the house to wear his hats and take care of Coco.
Well, she's got to run some errands, which is code word for find a hitman to kill this man and make it look like he suffocated on his own hat. That's a tough order.
Jasmine is kind of in direct opposition with Violet in their competency. Like, I think they're both capable of the same thing, but I feel like Violet would not get caught. Violet would be on a boat at the end and the credits would roll. Jasmine would be in prison. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I agree with you.
So Jasmine hops on a little FaceTime with Dane, who is I think the guy from 50 Shades of Grey. Like, what?
He wishes that he was. He's a paid actor that is not good, and he's not that attractive, and there's no way that these two dated, and I don't know what their relationship is, but it's very weird.
Oh, really? You think he's a paid actor for the show?
Do you think that they really dated?
Well,
Ever?
all right, Ruby, I like that theory. I will say this. If they did date and he's telling her that she deserves so much more love in the world, I would remind him that more than likely, if they had dated, he dumped her ass because she's a lunatic.
You know, there's a man named Norm Olson. He headed up the Michigan militias in the early 90s, and you've heard me talk about this, but he went in front of Congress and said that the government has a weather manipulation machine that's killing everybody in the Great Plains, and he blamed the Japanese for Timothy McVeigh's crimes. What you just brought to this podcast was similar to that kind of insanity, and you said it
So
just with
purely logical.
No, not
and-
like enough
Dylan.
to think about, but it shouldn't be said like today is Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Dylan, how do you think it rains? Dylan, the government makes it rain. I'm not discussing this with you again.
Okay.
I just think also we must remember, I believe Jasmine said earlier this season, the reason that her and Dane did not work out is because he was too gentle of a lover.
Yeah. So she is a kind of a real duplicitous snake. I was just thinking, like, imagine if this was Gino, like, or a Gino type on the other line. I would be so heartbroken for that person because he'd be saying the same things as Dane. Like, I think you deserve to be with somebody. Maybe me, but it doesn't have to be me. It seems like she's torturing Dane and she's torturing Gino at the same time, kind of sucking their life force. And also, I think Dane's very real. I think that she's fucking Dane.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think Dane cares because I think he's 50 Shades of Grey. I think he sees Jasmine as a whole.
A past hole.
An always open hole.
Hey, can I tell you something? Maybe this was just me, but when I went to Peru, and like I was in like a small town hanging out with my buddy, I don't know if they pretend or they just think that everybody from America is rich or something, but I had multiple girls like hit on me just randomly. So I think Dane's probably having a good time down there.
Yeah. And also, you're a ticket out.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. You're a rope ladder. Unfurled.
And they'll cut that rope.
Yep, 100%.
As soon as they climb up to the top.
All right, let's get to Vietnam. We are going to meet Violet's little nicotine lozenge burn right in the back of the throat. Pat, take it away.
Well, we're going to head to a tourist destination. No, it's not Disneyland. It's a mini sweatshop of sorts. It's a...
Yeah.
I'll butcher the name of whatever the hell a seamstress is going to make for him.
Don't.
But it's formal attire.
Yeah.
And this is what I always attribute to estheticians or hairdressers. Pretty chatty, you know. I didn't think it was seamstresses that would be so bold to ask you questions. Is that your husband?
Yeah.
She said, no. He says, is he your lover? She said, no. He says, he looks too fat for you. She says, yes, he is. He's too fat.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, is this a Vietnam thing? You know, with all the questions?
Yeah.
You know, so everywhere you go, all the service people have lots of questions. You go through a McDonald's drive-through, and then you go to pay for it.
Yeah.
I was going to do a bad Asian accent, but basically they say, here's your chicken nuggets. Are you fucking the person next to you?
Yeah.
Just a lot of inappropriate questions.
The Vietnamese are a very intrusive and gossipy people. How do you think they got the messages through the canopies to defeat us? It's in them.
Lots of tunnels as well.
And we say Vietnam because we are joking. And we, our cinematic culture, what with Oliver Stone or Ridley Scott or whoever, Francis Ford Coppola. I mean, there's lots of Vietnam.
Yeah, they all came out at the same time.
Vietnam stuff in
Hamburger Hill.
What's the
one with Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn? He's like, Sarge.
What's the one? What's the song? What is it?
John Fogerty?
John Fogerty. Yeah, John Fogerty. Yeah. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Lots of... Vietnam's just it's a touchstone in American culture.
Big time, man.
The only war we ever lost.
Well,
except for all the ones after.
It's hot there. That's what we can say. It's too hot and everyone
Super
sweats
hot
all
there.
the time.
Our father was over there. He got dysentery. Had to cut the back of his pants open.
Oh, Jesus.
He was, couldn't control it. It's like a game of, or it's like a Rube Goldberg. You take a sip of water, it goes here, there, and then it comes out of the asshole, kind of involuntarily. Just kind of, You want to move on?
Yeah.
So they measure his belly. It's 120 centimeters, and that's when the snakehead looks at him and calls him ugly and fat, and tells him that she called him ugly and fat in a different tongue.
Now, I want to... So she's already said that she has kind of an odd sense of humor. She's very forward with her jokes, and she doesn't really mean any of it. But, you had kind of made her out to be a very, very calculated character.
Yeah.
I think this is a misstep on Violet's part here.
I don't think so. It's not you can't insult Chum's feelings. And that's exactly what Riley is. He's Chum. Rubes, you brilliantly said that she has a 95-man roster, and I think she gets a text from one of the guys on the roster when they leave. What did you call it? A miniature sweatshop?
I don't know.
How could you call it that?
No,
There's one woman, no children.
It's true, but it was small and it was hot and she was making clothes. So it was a pretty good description
Thanks.
of
Well,
what
I
it
think
was.
it's a micro and or a macro aggression from both of you.
I am curious to hear your opinions on this because while Violet, because this man flew across the world to stay and visit with her, perhaps should keep her phone in her purse, for, I don't know, 2 hours while she's out to lunch with him.
Yeah.
That being said, when you look at the footage of her phone going off, I mean, he bends over backwards to get a stare at that screen. It's pretty
Well,
obvious.
Patrick, it's because he doesn't trust her, and he hired a Vietnamese private investigator to see if she was still fornicating with her ex-husband or something. So, although she has the roster, and I think she should have the roster. I hope she has 500 men that she's taking money and pearls from.
Yeah.
He loses his mind, and her just like, what's your fucking problem? Nature about it was amazing to watch.
But are you like curbing your hatred for him a little bit because he has to be becoming a sympathetic character?
The more he's on screen, the more old Patty hates him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he's a controlling dick. Okay. But I don't think he deserves it.
Okay, well, I think he's a cuck. I think you guys are wrong. We get a bizarre nothing interstitial about sexual fantasies in yoga. Maybe that was just a tease for the upcoming thing. But
I should say, though, maybe I'm coming around to her being a cool character, Dylan, because she's able to get this cuck to still show up to meet her family.
Yeah. And
enthusiastically. He's able to put this aside and meet her family.
Well, more on that at 5 o'clock. We need to get to stats.
Jesus.
Why do you say Jesus?
Because I honestly don't know what to do with her. What do you do with people like her?
What are your thoughts on stats? Like, what's your gut reaction to this ADHD lesbian sex addict who loves bugs?
If I were in a corporate retreat with her, or in any type of situation where I had to spend time with her, like small talk or a weekend, it doesn't matter. Anything in between, I would sweat profusely. I would hate it.
You sleep with one eye open, eh?
Yep.
I'll say this about her.
You think she's capable of harm, or she's just really awkward? And
I can't put my finger on it, but
I think it's the latter, because the thing that made me realize that I think she's right when she says she has attention deficit hyperactive disorder is when she's talking about her logistics finance job, and she says, I need a break every 15 minutes. And when that 15 minutes does come, she winds up a Hot Wheels and it flies off the table into the wall. And that's not a thing that adults do.
No. All right. So first off, I want to begin with her little time with the bugs out there in nature. I believe she sent her audition tape to the wrong reality show. She actually meant to be on Naked and Afraid. But they got it, and they called her and said, "Come on in."
She would be terrible on Naked and Afraid.
I think she'd be great. You got to see.
No, she'd be like, she would. There would be like a full court press to fuck the other person very, very quickly, and depending on if they were comfortable or uncomfortable or their gender, I think she'd flame out pretty quickly.
I don't know, man. I've watched that show quite a bit because my wife's obsessed with it. You get about 6 hours in and the termites start eating inner parts of your asshole and your leg. You are completely turned off to sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the men are such fucking cowards on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are.
It's always the women.
Absolutely.
Women prevail every time. It's a fascinating show. I don't like the part where they have to go out hunting.
Oh, God.
And they kill a poor frog. Hey! He didn't see you coming.
Poor frog. What about? I saw one where there was like a large rodentia. It was very sad. He went into a hollowed out log just to try to save its life, and this guy with his fucking balls hanging out. You're not primitive. You're on a television show. And he goes and fucking stabs the thing in the throat with a goddamn fucking rusted branch.
That's what I'm saying.
God damn
Hey,
it.
this isn't fair.
Yeah.
It's been like 2,000 years of evolution. I never seen one of these people. Now this big old guy with balls down there trying to stab me with a knife.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You want to know something crazy? Really, just a quick side note. Survivor season 2 in Australia, they literally took
killed a pig.
Twig, whatever, and they fucking murdered a boar.
It was a tech guy who went out there, and they had planted that pig out there.
Scooping, yeah. You see,
Yeah.
and then he fell into a fire later in the season, and his entire body, his skin melted off, so he had to go home.
He had to leave. I remember that season very, very
Well,
well.
that's what happens when you try to be a hero. And the spirit of the boar is a vengeful motherfucker. Mm-hmm. You know, they're mean animals.
Well, I'll tell you, Mark Brunette or whatever, he never tried those shenanigans again after that one. Anyway, back to this weirdo. So we learned she works from home, as Dylan pointed out. We learned she's been rejected from day one. She was adopted. She feels like her two older brothers fit in more than her, and she was the big disappointment.
Right.
So then she became a sex addict, had sex in a church, had sex in another, self-described sex freak, but now she wants love.
Yeah. She's
And because she's banged everybody in Texas, it's forced her to change her dating profile to meet girls in New England.
so she's really out of lesbians in Texas.
Yeah, she banged them all.
Yeah, and there are only 27 of them. Kidding. There's probably 29. But the craziest thing about her is not that she throws car toys at the wall when she is frustrated with work, or that she fishes indoors, or that she feels a kinship to roly-poly carcasses. It's that she's attracted to the English accent, one of the most disgusting dialects and cadences on planet Earth.
Dylan, you're picking up on what I'm going to throw down here.
Yeah.
Another sex addict trait is falling instantly in love with someone over trivial shit, like an accent or the same, sharing the same love of Tonka trucks or some bullshit like
interesting.
that.
That's a sex
Oh my
addict
God,
thing?
you love Tonka trucks too? Me too.
Wow,
We might just be in love.
You think British people sound gross, right, Ruby?
I think that really posh British people sound very, very, very hot.
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
no one sounds like that.
Right, exactly. And Hugh Grant sounds a little bit like that, but Hugh Grant's also like Hugh Grant. He's like kind of a dick, you know?
Like only Hugh Grant in Notting Hill is the accent that I want to hear.
Right.
Everything else from the UK, can't understand it, and I probably can't spell it. So
it's all like, you know, Scousers.
You know, the only time I've ever been asked to leave a classroom in college was I insulted a person with an English accent. The professor asked this student to speak, and then after he got done rambling, whatever he was going to do, the professor fell over backwards with how impressive what he did, and I had to vocalize that you're more in love with his accent than what he just said, because what he just said was absolutely stupid. And he paused and he said, "Do you mind stepping out of the classroom?"
Well, you were a hurt child, you know.
Yeah.
You were just fighting windmills, weren't you?
Oh, yes.
We've all been there. But yeah, it's like,
Oh, I went to Ibiza. It's like, oh, God.
I'll tell you, when a girl from England...
oh, Kalen's family's British. This could be
His mom
possibly
is
insulting.
English.
Yeah.
I am English.
Is she
Yeah, he's dual citizen.
All right. Is she posh?
No, she's not from posh.
I want to clarify
Probably
something
doesn't
really quickly.
sound very hot.
She married a movie star.
Yeah, that's
like-
true. She probably is hot. Sorry, go ahead.
British charm, like older, like everything about
yeah,
anything,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And so when you meet like anybody that is over the age of probably 55 that is from any type of Britain adjacent area, I would be like, oh my God, I love them.
Yeah,
They're so
no,
sweet,
and
you know?
we're of course being hyperbolic and joking, but kind of not. But yeah, it's like that TikTok of that little terrier or that little corgi that has that big long stick in its mouth. That man in the park who's like, "Hello, go ahead, little guy." I mean, you just immediately fall in love. But he was. I mean, his teeth were disgusting. And he eats peas all the time. I mean, it's just a horrific country.
All right. So are we moving on from her? Because I got a couple more things.
we're
All right,
moving on.
This little weirdo has a lot of red
Oh, no.
flags. Oh, her partner.
Oh no,
is
no,
Dempsey.
we are not.
Oh, okay. So Dempsey looks like just the photos that we've seen a little bit like Cameron Diaz. Tell me.
Also wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this little weirdo has a lot of red flags going on. But it really didn't hit me until I saw her eating that Hungry Man frozen dinner.
Yeah,
she mixed mashed potatoes with brownies.
Yeah. Well, she completely shirks convention.
Get the straitjacket out.
She shirks convention in so many ways, but the biggest thing is her eating a Hungry Man, which we all know are meals for tough, big, strong boys and not for lesbians with ADHD. You know, they're only for big, tough boys. Ribs, what's going on?
When she put that in the microwave, and again, this is no comment on the food because I eat trash and it would be probably delicious,
Right.
and pulled it out. I thought to myself, did she like that morning was she like, oh fuck, production's coming, I gotta get my hungry man? It's like, does she always, or does she always have them, or what's her relationship?
I think
with
that's
them?
a go-to, and it's weird because they're just for big strong boys. But yeah, you shouldn't talk because you swallow bean and cheese burritos like a fucking boa constrictor.
I want to go on record though. I caught that she mixed brownies with mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Right.
She needs to be in a straitjacket.
All right. You guys ready to quiet down?
Yes.
All right. It's Sheila and David time. Everybody be quiet, okay?
While we're in silence, I'll do the overview of the establishing shot.
What if we did, in solidarity with David, we did the next 5 minutes of the podcast completely quiet because he could never hear it anyways?
It's true.
Yep.
Is that a bad idea?
It's a little avant-garde as far as comedy.
Yeah, I think so too. I quite frankly, I feel embarrassed even pitching it.
That's okay.
I don't think it was that funny, and I think it was probably insulting to the deaf community. So, mea culpa. Let's move on.
Well, establishing shot, this lovely hotel room that David had booked off reviews on TripAdvisor. The outside is a river that has not sustained life in several decades. It's black and filled with garbage.
Right? Yeah, it's like DuPont, eat your heart out. Yeah. Somebody needs
But
Erin
worse.
Brockovich. Can we clone Erin Brockovich and send her everywhere for
Yes.
people's water? You know what I mean?
I mean, where is Julia? Where is Julia? Get her here.
Yeah.
I will say, though, the government there might say, she walks in with all their papers, the stack of documents, and then the government official just says, hey, the guy that dumps all the trash there, he pays me money.
Yeah, and they shoot her in the leg.
Yeah.
Okay, so last week, this is touchy, but I said that there might be a little bit more than deaf going on with David.
Okay.
And I felt like that was and I'm trying to be respectful, but it was kind of on display when we saw him, grown man, talk about how his banana got big and how it was tough to put in her donut. He strikes me as somebody who might wear a helmet.
Or a little Arrested Development. He talks like a 14-year-old. That's how a 14-year-old might talk about these things.
Yeah. So can you? I need help, Ruby. So Pat's he's trying to placate right now.
No, I'm not.
Or the opposite.
Let me give the rundown of what Dylan was throwing down there. Sweaty David gives us the rundown of what took place the night after the cameras left.
Yeah,
Apparently, he was horny. She caught on he was horny. He tried to bang her, but he's hung like Godzilla and was like trying to bang a Cheerio. Next thing you know, his penis killed her. Kidding. She gave him a blowjob, and he returned the favor by biting her nipples, which is very weird.
Okay. But you get what I'm saying, right, Rubes?
Yeah, no, I do. And when Sheila said, Sheila, when Sheila said the word nipple, I wanted to die. I wanted to die. Right there, I thought to myself, if we never do anything ever again collectively as the human race, that's okay, because we shouldn't.
Yeah. No, they were very open about their sexuality, and it made me want to shit my pants.
Yeah, a little too. It made me uncomfortable.
So,
Dylan.
Oh my gosh, banana and donut. He kissed my nipples and my vagina. Yeah. It was painful to have sex with him. My ex-partners have been louder, like really loud, but he was very quiet. Mm-hmm. It was all so much.
It was a lot. Look,
you know what it's like? You know that movie, what's that movie we talk about all the time where it's very tepid in the beginning and then all of a sudden they cut a body in half?
Bone Tomahawk?
Bone Tomahawk. It was like that scene in Bone Tomahawk.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to watch that.
Don't.
He told me about it. He says he's never forgotten that scene.
Yeah, they cut a man open from the taint. That's what it was like watching David talk about his banana, his big banana.
Hey, there is a plus side to all this subtitle stuff. I'm learning sign language pretty much. Dylan, did you know that the sign for beating off is this?
Yeah.
It's this.
That's crazy. Rubes, did you know that?
No, but Pat, that's really good. It's like you're fluent.
I'm learning.
How do you say blowjob?
No.
Okay. So I learned a little bit about ASL. or ASL. ALS is the bucket challenge, a horrific disease. This is David. He goes like this and kind of turns the volume up on his own ear, and that means David.
Yeah.
I was wondering if this was kind of like its own Mandarin symbol for this, or if he had come up with it on his own. Either way, it was very confusing to me, and I think very confusing to Sheila as well. My banana didn't
think
fit in her
that-
donut. Oh my God. Is there more going on than deaf here?
Didn't she say she gave him, and I quote, BJ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She also,
I don't want ever again to see them, I don't think. I think I might fast forward through their sections
Yeah.
and then you guys can talk about it and I'll take my headphones off and I'll be David.
No
from now
worry,
on, 'cause I-
no worries. I think that's perfect, and we just have to end. And if you want to be David right now, that's totally fine. But she doesn't trust him because he's a horny little slut.
Yeah. So he lets her go through his phone, though. And she's a pretty good snoop because right away she finds a girl in there and he's asking, do you have a boyfriend?
Yeah,
He's pretty quick on his feet if he is, in fact, a liar because
Yeah.
he's got a response for that.
a very good one.
Very Billy Madison. Do you have anybody that you like more than a friend? Because
Yeah.
one of his buddies told him to ask her for him.
Right,
You know,
right,
it wasn't
right.
him. It was one of his buddies
Yeah.
that wanted to know. I think it was David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
if it wasn't, like if it was a friend of David's that wanted to know if she had any friends, that's worse.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. All right,
know,
so
I
let's
think.
get to the life of the party. Christian is not having a very good international flight. It started off strong. He said, you got to watch a James Bond movie when you're flying to England. And I thought, my God, does that sound incredible. I would love to be on a flight with a gin and tonic watching a James Bond movie, flying to jolly old. But then it takes quite a dip. You know, one of those turbulent kind of belly falls through the sky.
Maybe one of the engines goes out.
Right, exactly. He quickly begins telling us about how the flight's not going that well. He got cut off because he was drinking too much. And I don't know why, but he begins getting nosebleeds, a lot of nosebleeds. It's ridiculous, but I associate nosebleeds with nerds. I don't know why, but it's just like I haven't gotten a nosebleed in an eternity. I feel like only dorks get nosebleeds. You know what I mean?
Or people addicted to cocaine.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
I think it's just dorks. He's a dork. You know what I mean? It's just such a dorky thing to get a nosebleed in the sky after you get cut off because you've been drinking.
Now,
too
how are
much.
dorks different from nerds?
Very similar, very similar. But nerds have the potential of having a little bit of not gravitas, but perhaps an upright posture. You know, dorks are just
I think-
dorks. You know.
I think of a nerd as like a more like there's a possibility for a nerd's intellect to be like a very
Yeah.
attractive quality
Right.
about
Thank
them.
you. Yeah.
Dorks, I feel like, are people that could like spill on themselves and you'd be like, oh, I kind of feel bad for that guy.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Do you get
You
it?
know?
Yeah. Dorks eat their boogers, and nerds know all the characters of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, nerds make really successful Lord of the Rings lore YouTube channels, and dorks just like fail to read the book.
I think I got it.
You know,
Yeah.
Christian's a fucking dork. But anyways,
Yes.
he lands.
Hey, quick question. Have you two millennials ever heard of I'm serving fish?
No, and I'm happy that you brought that up, and I copied the definition from
I
Urban
did as well.
Dictionary.
I'm looking cute is the, I guess, the definition of I'm serving fish.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to dive into the etymology because it has to do with. I mean, am I wrong in saying that it has to do with the kind of pesca scent of a vagina? Is that?
I was going to say only referring to the odor of a vagina.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I don't think this one's going to catch
So-
on.
I think it already has
Well,
caught on.
I mean, like, quick cue for Cleo. You don't, as a cisgender facing, performing, I'm not sure what she said, woman, you wouldn't want to serve fish We
No.
don't, that's not the goal. And if you are bad, you need to go to a doctor because something is wrong.
Bread's
Cleo.
cooking in
Not-
there.
almost
Bread's cooking.
like a misogynistic thing that I think originated in the drag world. It's a term used in drag culture to refer to a queen that has very feminine appearance. An example of it used in a sentence, like where it scripts or something. Hey girl, you are serving fish tonight. I live. Is a way to say that. So Cleo is serving fish and she is serving temptations to her little ones. Oh my gosh, do cat owners know the power of a bag of temptations? Keep those, in a cupboard. You know what I mean? So let's get to airport love, my favorite part of the show, because I love love. And there was this will they or won't they kind of question. Will they kiss? Won't they kiss? Christian grabs her and gives her a big, big smooch. He proceeds to be revolted by her for the rest of his time on the show, I think. But this was sweet.
I think I'm just going to sleep over on this side of the bed.
My God. My God, my God, my God.
Ruby, what do you think's going on with Christian and Cleo?
Well, first of all, I think that Cleo is very brave for going to the airport because it's nerve-wracking for her and it's overstimulating with her superpower.
Yeah.
Second of all, Christian is likely, I think, gay. I don't think he likes Cleo, and I think he's very uncomfortable. And the second he landed, he wanted to come home, back to America, but he can't, and he's there now. He does not like her cats. The Airbnb is too small, and I don't know what's going to happen when one of them has to go poop.
So, and those are all great thoughts. And I do want to move on, but we really quickly, I just wanted to highlight a quote from him. He says that Cleo is the first transgendered autistic person he's ever been in a relationship with. And I think we can all recognize the specificity of that claim is absolutely insane and hilarious. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Also,
you're the
something else
first
that was
Latin
hilarious.
American burn victim I've ever dated. It's like, obviously. Sorry, Rubes, go ahead.
No, that was really good. I was trying to think about what Jasmine would say if you said that. She'd be like, I saw you with somebody else. Like, whatever. I don't know. You might want to cut that. But,
no.
I can't even. I lost my train of thought.
It's weird. I think it's okay to do Latin American women impressions, like crazy Latina impressions, especially if you're a woman. I think it's okay. If you're
I got it.
If you're
It came
serving
back.
fish, I think it's okay to make fun of Latin American women. Okay, go ahead,
Okay,
Rubes.
so I'll keep doing it then.
Yeah.
When Cleo was like, he is so cute. He is out of my league. Yeah. And Christian was like, oh my God, that was like so nice. Like when you said that was like, and then like 12 minutes later it was like, when you said that I was out of your league, that was like so, she was like, it's true. What?
Yeah.
I was like, everyone should crash the car. This is bad. This is sad.
I know it's really sad, but it's not as sad as watching Gino run in a gray hat.
Well, to be fair, she was jogging with a purse, which was equally as insane.
No, nowhere near equally. Watching Gino run is one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever experienced in my life. So,
He makes a confession that he hasn't worked out in a while.
yeah.
Wow. Because we all thought you were training for Mr. Universe.
Yeah.
Sir, can you, you're doing great. Love the squat position. Do you mind removing the hat?
Yeah.
He's not removing it.
Yeah. Sir, why have you not shaved for this event? And why do you think
like
it's
to
okay?
rush?
I didn't have the proper equipment. I had a Gillette. I don't like using Gillettes. So
the proper equipment.
we get a little role reversal here, wherein, like kind of like a pervy kind of course professional, like a PGA pro at a country club would like grab a housewife, or somebody showing someone how to play pool. How you kind of go up from behind someone a la Schweiz and Demi and kind of thrust your cock into them unwillingly, or from them on their side. She does that to Gino. He's doing squats and she comes up from behind him and begins to mimic fucking him in the ass. And And it's in a public park, and I mean, the show's great. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, she's doing that because she needs to get the sex back on track. This might turn him on.
Yeah. Well, she asks him about sex, and it is similar to hearing David talk about his banana and Sheila's donut and nipples. When Gino is asked about sex, or when sex gets brought up, seeing him kind of emotionally break out in hives is a really uncomfortable thing to watch. I don't know what's going on with him. I think it'd be lazy to just say he's gay, but I don't know. I've said it before. There's something deeper, though. He's broken.
I can't put my finger on it.
I agree. I was going to say, I don't think that he's gay. I think that it's like a camp counselor diddled him.
Yeah.
Or so. I think it's way deeper and like more horribly fucked up than that, because it is
I agree
really,
with that one.
You know, like she is, like we've talked about, the only crazy thing about the show would be if she loved him, and she might, because she is, by whatever standard, she's a fucking hot Latina, and he does not want to fuck her.
No.
He's scared.
And not only does he not want to fuck her, when she brings up sex, he gets this
recoils.
He gets this shaky, frowny face that makes me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, it makes me want to shit my pants.
Now, Dylan, their first season, one thing, maybe it was the editing, they made it look, the sex problems was not brought up. It made it look like he wanted his dick sucked every 2 hours from her.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a 180 from that. It's odd.
We'll explore this further later, but right now we have to keep that pimp hand strong. Violet and Riley have to go to have dinner with, a real goddamn cudgel of a woman. That is Violet's mother. He's still having a bit of an issue with the whole text thing. And Violet tells him to shut his fucking mouth, follow her to an open concept home, and to smile when he sits down at the fucking table.
In other words, don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
A couple things, if you don't mind. One thing is, she does explain away that the guy that had his shirt off is actually a teacher and a friend who's dating her friend.
Yeah. That's not
a thing.
Yeah, that's not a truth.
We don't know that, you know?
All right, so this is...
You know what I think? I think that picture that got sent was from a scout. And I think the person that was pictured is going to end up as cargo soon. Yeah.
Interesting. I brought
Poor
this
guy.
Up, I brought this up at the top of the show. She is definitely... this is a con woman type of thing, because you can see when the daughters talk to him, who he's had a semi kind of relationship, you can see with Riley, he so wants a family. He is a very lonely person. I know he has lunch with his dad every week or whatever.
Yeah.
But
he's a sweet guy.
Well, maybe
once a week.
Once a week.
Yep.
He so wants that kind of structured family thing that I think he's going to deny his eyes, and I think Violet knows it, and the kids are all part of it, and so is her mother.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I don't think she thinks as a mark that she'll be able to get any money out of this guy. So I'm not quite sure of what her end game is with him.
Yeah. Sweet guy, though, huh?
I don't know.
Really nice guy, I think. But we'll get to the dinner in a bit. Right now, we have to get to a really, really painful bit of kind of eternal friend zoniness between Stats and her friend Sai. Are you guys picking up on that? I think Sai is in love with Stats.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, she seems to know. Well,
I don't think you guys are. I don't think you agree with me.
Well,
I didn't get that.
She knows Stats' whole life, and her track record with women. So you can tell that they're kind of semi-close. Maybe Sai could be sitting in waiting on the sidelines.
If this is a guy, you're like, okay, this guy is friend zoned. Sai reminds me of the other autistic guy that Cleo met for the first time. They both did psychedelics, and he was like, why isn't she in love with me? Those are the vibes I'm getting from Sai. But
What's with this establishment they're hanging out?
All right, so let's talk about this establishment. I'm not a prude. I just really am triggered by bad business ideas. Everything about this place makes me angry.
Well, they sell chocolate and vibrators.
Yeah. So this is either a business that was launched off the back of some kind of small inheritance off of a tragedy by someone who just does not have their life together, or it's a money laundering operation. But it cannot be a business that was launched by anybody competent or with anybody that had any experience. All of the menus are tablets, and it is a business that is so niche that no one would ever fucking go there. So it just drives me nuts that this place exists. But thank God we're in a meritocracy, and soon this business will fail.
Of course.
Like Delta Airlines.
Well said, Dylan.
Kidding.
I can't say I agreed with anything more than this, if anything you've said in the last 4 years.
Really?
Definitely, I think someone died, left a moron a lot of money,
Yeah.
and they thought, I love two things. Dildos
Right.
and chocolate bars. Let's combine them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they added wine, and they were like, people are gonna love this, and they won't. It'll fail still.
It'll fail, though, right? Can you imagine, like, let's open up a restaurant, right? Well, first off, the margins are pretty thin on that. Fine, let's still do it. Now, let's talk menus. We could print them out and laminate them, and they'll last for a while. Okay, what's your idea?
Bad idea.
What's your idea?
Every single patron that comes in gets a $750 tablet with a $150 case.
Yeah, yeah. Well. What about
Stupid.
so this is the kind of business acumen. We want menus that are $1,000 and that have to be charged. It drives me nuts. So, anyways, they suck down 69. Love is 69 shots or whatever the fuck it is, and then we get into a little history of stats. She is want to have her heart broken a couple times in the past.
Because she falls too fast.
She falls too fast.
Oh, you like Tonka trucks.
Yeah. And that is, I'm glad you said it. This is when I realized, and the sex in the church and in a crowded elevator should have tipped me off, but it was this moment that really solidified Stats is a sex addict, a major sex addict. Sex and love.
I want to clarify that I think that lesbians kind of have it a little bit easier because, like, you and I and Patrick, and as a I'm giving fish. I can't fuck anyone in an elevator, but if you really wanted to, like, touch a peen or, like, stick a finger in somebody, you could. Is that sex? Because that's not fair. You guys don't get to call that sex. Not in an elevator.
Well, Kaylin's a lesbian. We can ask him. Okay, sorry. I don't know why I said that. All right, let's move on to...
I can't wait to see where this goes with Stats.
Oh, I love Stats. Yeah, Stats is great. I think we should get her on the show.
I'll try.
All right, let's get to the dry markets of the Philippines. There are cats drinking out of shallow puddles. There are dogs covered in scabs. And there are kind of still quite alive octopus with 3 to 4 flies buzzing around their eyes.
What's great about David? I'm sorry, not great.
It's just so...
David doesn't have hearing, but he has eyeballs. Yeah. And he stares down that fucking fly having a keg party on that octopus.
Yeah.
And the fly's like, hey, free beer. And once I'm shit-faced, I'm going to die and become a maggot and then crawl into this dead octopus.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
And you will catch some kind of cordyceps-like parasite from this white octopus that had to die suffocating on land while flies ate its eyeballs. I mean, it's just a really tough scene. The pork, and I listen, not everything needs to be refrigerated. You know, you can keep meat out at a relatively cold temperature, but I don't know. I don't want to be insensitive, and I think that I could possibly appreciate this a little bit if I was there. Maybe I
Nope. Nope.
Dylan.
Nope. No, nothing.
honestly
Absolutely
though,
not.
what is better though? What is better, this or a Tyson chicken processing plant? I don't know.
I have a question. Are you going to a Tyson chicken processing plant as a tourist destination? No. This is not fun, and nobody wants to see this ever.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to indulge in the culture when I went to Macchu Picchu. We visited a small town. It was an enclosed food market. The place was filled with flies and dead carcass.
Yeah.
And the smell was so bad, I had to run out of there because I was going to barf. Now, that's just me.
Yeah.
My sensitive palate and nose. But
No, Patrick, it isn't just you. And let me tell you a quick anecdote. I
Yeah.
hiked Machu Picchu for 5 days in the forest, and I ate normal food. We had a lovely set of chefs, and they made beautiful meals for us. Everybody was fine the entire time.
Total white
And then we got
bitch
to
move.
Machu Picchu.
Total white bitch
And
move.
it's not true. It was fantastic, and you should go before they close it. We got to the town where the actual monument is, and you see it, and everybody's fantastic, and you're excited to be there. And I had chips and guacamole because I was like, I'm not eating in this weird fucking scary place that's known for food poisoning.
Yeah.
And those avocados had something in them that gave me. I had to change my flights home, and I was on a serious bout of a lot of medicine for 10 days when I returned here.
Yeah.
So it's not just you, and those wet markets are not okay.
thank you.
You know, I was listening to the late Anderson Cooper. No, he's still very much with us. The late Anthony Bourdain talked to Anderson Cooper about Anderson Cooper's aversion to food, period. He was like, if I could have a shake for every meal, I would do it. And he was telling Anderson that when you go to India, the food is really delicious, and you will have to shit your pants every once in a while, but it's really delicious. And I was thinking, like, I want to be a global traveler. I want to enjoy this kind of stuff, but also I don't want that. And I'm sorry to be disrespectful, but no. No. I don't want the side of pork that's been hanging. There are bugs all over it. God damn it. I feel like a gross American saying
well,
that.
that's
but-
okay. At least you acknowledge that you may be viewed as that. So there's a couple of things that I noticed with their conversation. This kind of fascinates me. So David asks, well, first off, he says he'd lose weight if he lived in this country. I'm sure I believe it.
No, you wouldn't.
David asks about her last relationship, and then they start talking about past relationships. And here's my observation. You guys have been talking for 2 years via Skype every day.
Yeah.
What the fuck have you talked about?
Right.
Get this. When I was 15, I had my girlfriend over. I was living with my dad temporarily, and he's going to drive her home. And I said, as she was leaving the house to go get driven by my dad, I said, Kelly, what are you doing tomorrow? And my dad said, it was pretty apt. He said, what have you guys been talking about for 3 hours in your bedroom?
Yeah.
And I thought, great pickup. I've been fingering her for 3 hours. We didn't talk about a thing. We're young children.
Yeah.
We're young kids. We're horny.
Right.
I fingered her. I didn't ask her a single question.
I would tell your dad to buzz off. You know what's going on. But the two of them meet in front of Santonino Church, and it looks like a hangout for dementors and less a place of worship. Very scary. But yes, this is when it gets brought up that his past girlfriend was deaf, and she was the real shit. You know, she couldn't speak a lick of things, and she she's a bit of a threat. Last thing I want to mention, when he's eating lechon at the market, this hawker is looking at him like she wants to kill him. She's absolutely disgusted with him, and I don't blame her. Let's move on. We get to the amazing connection between Christian and Cleo. Cleo has to serve even more fish than she thought she needed to because Christian is having reservations about whether or not he can do this. I don't like Christian. I think Christian sucks. I think he's a dork. And I think that he's a drunk and a dork. I think that when you speak to cats the way that he's speaking to them, red flag immediately.
Well, he also said, I'm not your fucking daddy.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
I'm more like a cousin that
Right.
touches you.
Honestly, the thing that I hate the most about, what's his name? Smeagol? Who's Smeagol?
Call him.
Gollum.
Yeah.
Nicola.
Nicola is the fact that he said that he'd throw the cat against the wall if it tried to jump on the bed. Now, he's done a lot of other weird things like
Cats are not protected by the book of God.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can
yeah.
just throw them off a cliff.
right. If
God
you're-
did not like them.
If you're in the correctly constructed tabernacle, you can just slit their fucking throat. It's totally fine. But the fact
a
that
sacrifice.
the fact that Christian is like, he says, "Hey you" to the cats. Oh my God, hey you, hey! It's just gross. And then he really recoils at the whole daddy notion. I think it's really disgusting behavior. You can tell a lot about a human being the way they interact with domestic animals.
I agree.
You know what I
couldn't
mean?
agree more. He also says, "Hey, I'm really tired. I want to go to bed," and his eyes close before the lights go off. That's a red flag.
His eyes closed before the lights go off, but also I just felt so bad for Cleo in this scene. She's doing I just think she's doing her best. I don't know. She's has a mental disability and she's being so vulnerable with him, and she still has a penis, and it's just this very uncomfortable thing. I just felt really bad for her. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Great television, though.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, great television, but made me sad. I like Cleo. All right, so let's get back to Vietnam. We get a very lovely dinner with the family. The pimp hand is as strong as ever. She says, like I mentioned, sit down, shut your mouth, and smile. And that's exactly what he does. They walk into the, again, open concept home, and she tells him to shut the door. Now, the door is a gate with an advertisement on the front of it. Not placed there by them, though maybe it is a little bit of an income tributary to the family. I'm not sure how things work. But Riley makes a big goof while performing a really beautiful gesture. He gets Violet's daughters a bunch of gifts, lipstick, purses. The problem is,
Didn't bring mom anything.
old Kingpin's sitting there. Fucking toothless, ruthless bitch is not happy that she didn't get anything. And quite honestly, I think Riley should have pulled an audible. You know, he got throw the matriarch the lipstick, you know?
There you go. Fuck the kids.
Fuck the kids, they're fine. Throw the matriarch the lipstick. But a hilarious conversation ensues about how men must be trusting of Vietnamese women because Vietnamese women are faithful and, quote unquote, are not jerks.
They're loyal.
They're loyal. I think the private eye would disagree with that.
He has yet to put a down deposit on that private eye yet.
Yeah. It's like sitting down with a bunch of goddamn gun runners and having them tell you that they have like, you know, extreme, you know, like super high ethical standards. You'd be like, I think this is a little bit of a skewed game here. You guys are merchants of death. You suck. That's exactly what I think.
Depends who you ask. Because
what I-
people, you know.
I think Violet and her mother are evil. All right, so we move on to stats. This is a useless tidbit. We get about, this is a useless tidbit, but we do find something very interesting out about her. When she gets nervous, she shits her pants. That is not common.
Agreed.
For anybody
thank
older
you.
than 6.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so we do wrap with our Panamanian
Well, I was going to say,
lovebirds.
so we have a little cliffhanger with that story. Dempsey missed her flight
Yeah.
from Thailand where she's vacationing with her dad. So Stats could end up in an English airport with nobody.
Right.
Perhaps for an entire week. Who knows?
And like a Bryan Singer film, turns out that Dempsey is Carla, Tyree's Carla. So we'll find that out
She
next
definitely doesn't
episode.
have a limp.
Right. All right.
No.
So we wrap with our Panamanian lovebirds. Jasmine says that she is going to introduce Gino to her female friends, which is a very odd way to say that. Did that buck like I was?
You're not wrong. But it's also, I don't know if it's the language barrier or what, but it is very weird.
I don't think it's a language barrier. I think she's a fucking criminal succubus murderer, and I think that I don't know. I think she sees a lot more guys than girls, which is
I
why she
want
refers to them as her
Violet.
female friends.
Well, of course she does because she's a succubus. But I want Violet and Jasmine to start an agency.
Yeah.
I don't know of what, but I want them to do it, and I will give them money because they will make me more.
Yeah. I think that's a really, really shrewd investment. But we dance. We talk about butt plugs. Gino says, let's change the subject. And then Gino pulls one of Jasmine's friends aside to ask about the Great Dane. Now, we'll find out more about this next episode when Gino and Jasmine take another jog to a public park. She will manipulate, or what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? She will imitate fucking him in the ass, and they'll have a conversation about Dane. Good. All right, so that's it for us. Jump in the comments, join us on socials, join us on Patreon for Vanderpump with Rubes, me, and Pat. Also follow Ruby on TikTok at Papaya Dog Girl, and jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Leave 5 stars, kind words. We love you guys very much for listening. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later, dudes.
Ruby.
Bye-bye.
There's a lot of stuff on TV, but not all of it's good. In fact, a lot of it's bad TV.